On December 7, 2025, a woman named Letha Rock from Atlantic City, New Jersey, experienced what would become one of the most difficult days of her life.
You guys, this is the video I never thought I would meet. It is now 9:28 in the morning. My mother has passed away. I don't know what to do. My brother's here, unfortunately, and I was told by my mom that anything happened to her,
For years, Letha had shared parts of her everyday life on a small YouTube channel, posting videos about her cats, daily routines, and life with her elderly mother, Denise Reeve Martin. Living in an aging apartment building near the city, she often documented simple moments that most people would never think twice about. Just 5 days earlier, on December 3rd, she had uploaded a cheerful video titled "Mom, Meet Precious the Cat." In the video, Denise could be seen meeting the family's newest cat, smiling and interacting with the animal, while Letha filmed the moment. It was the kind of ordinary family memory that seemed completely normal at the time. But on December 7th, everything changed. Denise Reeve Martin passed away inside the apartment, leaving Letha suddenly faced with a situation she never expected to document. The following day, on December 8th, she uploaded another video. This time, the title was very different. It was called "Mom's Dead and What Do I Do Now?" As the video began, Letha sat in front of the camera, speaking directly to her viewers, while police officers and the medical examiner were still dealing with the aftermath inside the home. She calmly described what had happened, mentioning that the medical examiner had recently left and that the officers had been kind during the process. At one point, she even spoke about moving one of the cats, Precious, out of her mother's room before authorities arrived.
What to do. My brother's here, unfortunately, and I was told by my mom that anything happened to her, I had to take things out of the house. I had to make certain preparations. Oh my God. You guys, this is my mom. She's gone. Mom! My mom is dead. My mom is gone. My life is different now than it was before she's gone. My mom is dead.
What made the video disturbing out was not anything graphic, because there was none. The camera remained focused on Letha the entire time. Instead, it was the timing of the recording that many viewers found unusual. Only hours after losing her mother, she had chosen to turn on a camera and continue documenting her life exactly as she always had. The video felt incredibly raw and unfiltered, almost as if viewers were witnessing a private moment that would normally stay behind closed doors. According to available reports, authorities found no signs of foul play, and the death was handled as a natural passing with routine involvement from law enforcement and the medical examiner. There were no criminal investigations, lawsuits, or major legal developments connected to the case. Still, the video generated discussion online. Some people questioned whether sharing such a personal moment so quickly was healthy, while others felt it was simply how Letha processed grief after spending years recording her daily life and posting it online. Whatever the reason, the upload left a strong impression on many viewers because it captured a moment that most people would never choose to share publicly. To this day, it remains unclear what was going through Letha's mind when she decided to press record during those first hours after losing her mother. But for many who watched the video, felt that people deal with grief in very different ways, and that sometimes the most unsettling moments are not dramatic events, but ordinary people trying to cope with a loss that suddenly changed everything. In September of 2025, 15-year-old Leila Montserrat Lares Becerra left her home in Sonoita, Sonora, expecting to spend time with two girls she once considered friends. Like many teenagers in a small border town where everyone seems to know each other, she had no reason to believe that meeting them would put her in danger. Earlier that day, the two girls, 15-year-old Brittany Michel and a 13-year-old girl named Montserrat, had contacted Leila and invited her out with the promise of a surprise. Whether it was a simple hangout or something involving a boy, Leila believed it was harmless and agreed to go with them to a house in the Ejido El Desierto area. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The girls talked with her, joked around, and kept the atmosphere relaxed. According to investigators, Leila appeared comfortable and completely unaware that anything was wrong. But as time passed, the situation slowly changed. The two girls convinced Leila to sit down in a chair. They then tied her hands, covered her eyes with a blindfold, and placed a rope around her neck, all all while continuing to record the interaction on video. What makes the footage especially disturbing is that Layla could still be heard laughing and speaking with them. She appeared to believe it was all part of the surprise they had promised her, never realizing what was about to happen. Then, without warning, the situation turned deadly.
Con la M, con la M. A ver, deja pienso. Ya piensa, ¿eh? ¿Cuánto dices que le llevo conociendo? 2 años, creo. No, con la M, con la M. Sí, güey, con la M.
Investigators say the two girls used the rope to strangle Layla while recording the entire attack. Afterward, they buried her body in the backyard of the property and covered it with lime in an attempt to hide the crime and speed up decomposition. When Layla failed to return home, her family immediately became concerned and reported her missing. Days passed as relatives searched for answers, hoping she would be found safe. Instead, on October 2nd, 2025, authorities discovered her remains. For Layla's family, the tragedy did not end there. Months later, a video of the murder was anonymously sent to her mother, Carmen Becerra, forcing the family to confront the final moments of Layla's life in a way no parent should ever have to experience. As the investigation continued, both girls were arrested and eventually confessed to their roles in the crime. Authorities stated that the motive involved jealousy over a boy, along with months of bullying and personal conflict that had developed between them. In March 2026, the case reached court under Mexico's juvenile justice system. Brittany Michelle, who was 15 at the time of the crime, received 2 years and 10 months of confinement. The 13-year-old girl received 11 months of supervised release. Both were also ordered to pay financial compensation to Layla's family. The sentences immediately sparked public outrage across Mexico. You see, many people argued that the punishment did not reflect the seriousness of the crime, especially given the planning involved and the fact that the murder had been recorded. Layla's mother became one of the most vocal critics of the outcome, organizing protests and pushing for legal reforms known as Ley Layla, which would seek tougher penalties for minors involved in serious violent crimes. Even today, the case continues to raise difficult questions about juvenile justice, accountability, and how far some teenagers are capable of going when jealousy and resentment are allowed to grow unchecked. For Layla's family, however, the debate is much simpler. What began as a meeting between friends ended with a young girl losing her life, and no court decision can change the fact that someone she trusted led her into a situation from which she never came home. On December 25, 2025, a 34-year-old man named Fernando Corderel Ortiz headed toward Liberty Hill Recreational Park on West Point Lake in LaGrange, Georgia, and what should have been an ordinary Christmas day ended in a tragedy that would leave his family searching for answers. West Point Lake is a large reservoir that stretches across the Georgia and Alabama border and is well known for boating, fishing, and family gatherings throughout the year. Liberty Hill Park, located along the shoreline, is one of the area's most popular public access points, with a boat ramp that sits just a short distance from the water. Fernando, a local resident, father, and family man, was last seen that Christmas afternoon on Liberty Hill Road near the park. As the hours passed and nobody heard from him, concern quickly began to grow. Later that day, his truck was discovered abandoned at the boat ramp, a finding that immediately worried his loved ones and led to him being reported missing. Over the following days, an extensive search operation was launched. Deputies from the Troup County Sheriff's Office worked alongside fire departments, emergency management crews, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, and other agencies, searching the area by land, water, and air. They followed leads, checked surrounding areas, and spent days looking for any sign of Fernando. Despite those efforts, the search produced no answers. Then, on January 3rd, 2026, more than a week after Fernando disappeared, volunteer recovery teams arrived with specialized sonar equipment and began scanning the waters near the boat ramp. For hours, they slowly searched the area, studying the images coming back from the sonar and looking for anything unusual beneath the surface. Then, they noticed something. Roughly 15 feet from shore, the sonar revealed an object resting underwater. The team moved in for a closer look, and what they found immediately changed the course of the search.
I'm like about to be on it, I think. Yeah, I'm right on top of whatever it is. But it looks like a rock. I got something. Oh, okay. Put it down.
Put it down.
We found him.
Just mark it right there where the bucket's at. Just, we know exactly where he's at. He's right from that bucket, about 15 feet out.
We just found him. Okay.
Damn, dude, good job. That's 2.
That looked like a rock. I mean, that's...
Okay.
Alright.
So here's what we're gonna do.
I don't know if law enforcement's here already. I mean, the family and everybody's right here.
I guess we just walk up there and tell them.
Let's...
Just be gentle about it. Be like, no, we'll call the police.
Unless that happened
If there
later
is a
on.
body,
We gotta call.
I'm supposed to call.
Yeah, definitely call.
Yeah.
We confirmed it's definitely a body. We don't know. I don't know if it's him or not, but we know we just found a body. You think it's really a color green?
It looked green, like a greenish hoodie, maybe some white lettering. I only saw it for a second.
Yeah.
We're notifying the detective
Okay.
and also the sheriff that's on duty, the sergeant, so
Okay.
he can come out and get with y'all.
Is the dive team coming out, or do they want us to
Well,
assist?
they come first,
Okay.
and then y'all take it from there. Because we're ground crew, y'all are.
Yeah, and I mean, if they have a dive team, usually we're happy to help, you know, because it's only 4 or 5 feet out, you know, water. So.
Who's the sorry, I got.
No problem.
What we got?
So if you see where our boat is down here on the right side, this is the image we got first on sonar. And then it's about 10, 15 feet out, 5, 7 feet deep, and we have a pole that we were poking down. We pulled up the body for just a second, like head level, and then we put them back so we didn't move them.
Okay.
But we do have confirmation that it's a body.
You actually think?
So y'all said yes, sir. Yeah.
We'll be out here in a few minutes. I'll get the team out here and get him.
Okay.
That would be he's like a foot underwater, sitting straight up, like almost wanted to float.
The object was a body. The volunteers contacted law enforcement right away, and a dive team from the Troup County Sheriff's Office and local fire department responded to recover the remains. The person was later identified as Fernando Corderel Ortiz. Following the recovery, the case was turned over to investigators, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation conducted an autopsy. As of today, authorities have not publicly released the exact cause or manner of death, and officials have stated that the investigation remains ongoing. The case has raised a number of questions within the community. Many people wondered how Fernando's truck ended up at the boat ramp, what brought him there that day, and why such an extensive search initially failed to locate him in an area so close to where he was eventually found. The discovery also brought attention to the growing role of volunteer recovery groups and sonar technology in missing person cases. In this situation, volunteer teams were able to locate Fernando only a short time after beginning their search, providing long-awaited answers to a family that had spent 9 days hoping for good news. While investigators continue working to determine exactly what happened, very little information has been released publicly regarding possible foul play or other circumstances surrounding Fernando's disappearance. What is known is that his loss deeply affected those who knew him. He is survived by his parents, Ernesto Ortiz Sanchez and Alicia Lynn Hill, his children, and other family members who later gathered for a memorial service at the same park where his truck had been found. At this time, no lawsuit, settlement, or criminal charges have been publicly reported in connection with the case, as the focus remains on determining exactly what happened during Fernando's final hours. For his family, however, the unanswered questions remain. What brought him to the lake that Christmas Day and what happened after he arrived may never be fully known, but the impact of his loss continues to be felt by everyone who knew him. On December 17, 2025, a 43-year-old real estate agent named Diane Alves de Souza went down to the basement of her apartment building in Caldas Novas, Goiás, Brazil, for what should have been a routine check on a problem that had been frustrating residents for months. Caldas Novas is a popular tourist city known for its hot springs, and Diane had moved there from Uberlandia about 2 years earlier to manage 6 family-owned apartments that were rented out to visitors. Much of her daily life revolved around helping guests, handling maintenance issues, and dealing with the normal responsibilities that come with managing multiple properties inside a large condominium complex. Throughout 2025, residents had reportedly experienced repeated power outages, and on that evening, Diane found herself dealing with the same problem once again. Wanting to find out what was causing it, she grabbed her phone, started recording videos to send to a friend, and headed down to the building's basement where the electrical panels were located. At first, everything seemed completely normal. The video showed her inside the elevator talking about the outage and making her way toward the electrical area. It just looked like another ordinary part of her workday. But when she reached the basement, something unexpected was waiting for her.
Acabou de perder minha energia no 402. Vamos lá. Vamos ver se essa brincadeira tá continuando. Vamos ver. Vamos achar aqui. 409, 404. Não sei se o 402 está aqui. Mas o síndico tá aqui embaixo. Isso eu sei. Acho que o 402 fica aqui. Vamos lá, se tem menina brincando de desligar as coisas.
As Diane walked toward the electrical panels, a man suddenly appeared from the area ahead of her. He was already there, waiting. Wearing gloves on both hands, he approached as her phone continued recording. What happened next lasted only a short time. The phone captured the beginning of a violent attack before recording ended. According to investigators, Diane was shot twice in the head inside the basement. Afterward, her phone was taken and thrown into a sewer box within the condominium complex, where it would remain hidden for more than 40 days. That night, Diane simply disappeared. Family members quickly became concerned when they could not reach her. Her apartment door had been left open, her personal belongings were still inside, and nothing suggested she had planned to leave. Police began searching for answers, reviewing security footage, and investigating her last known movements, but days turned into weeks with little progress. Then, more than a month later, the investigation took a major turn. On January 28, 2026, police arrested the condominium administrator, 49-year-old Kleber Rosa de Oliveira, along with his son. During questioning, Kleber confessed to the crime and directed investigators to a wooded area roughly 15 kilometers from Caldas Novas. There, authorities found Diane's body. Just 2 days later, investigators recovered the phone that had been hidden inside the sewer box. When forensic experts examined the device, they discovered the videos Diane had recorded shortly before the attack. Among them was footage from the basement itself, providing investigators with crucial evidence about what had happened that night. In February 2026, police publicly confirmed that the attack had been planned in advance. According to investigators, Kleber had deliberately cut the building's power supply, knowing it would likely bring Diane down to the basement to investigate. The footage showed him waiting near the electrical area while wearing gloves, and investigators concluded that he used his knowledge of the building's layout and security blind spots to carry out the attack in a location where the gunshots would be less noticeable. Authorities also uncovered a long history of conflict between Diane, her family, and Kleber. Before Diane took over management of the family's rental apartments, Kleber had reportedly managed those same properties. After losing that role, disputes continued for years involving building rules, utility interruptions, fees, and multiple legal cases. As a result, Kleber was charged with qualified homicide and concealment of a corpse. Prosecutors argued that the crime was carefully planned and carried out through an ambush. As of June 2026, the case remains ongoing in the Brazilian court system. Witnesses, investigators, and family members have already testified, and further hearings are scheduled as the legal process continues. While questions remain about the final moments of the attack, one thing is clear. What began as a simple trip to investigate another power outage ended with the loss of a woman who was simply trying to do her job. If you stayed till here, thank you so much. If you have any suggestions or a case you want me to cover next, just drop it in the comments.